Welcome to the Hub Orientation. This orientation is designed to help Hub directors understand the purpose of the Urban Training Collaborative, as well as the role and responsibilities of a hub that make up the collaborative. We also provide a short introduction to Street Psalms, its role in convening the collaborative, and how it partners with local hubs. But first, a brief history. The Urban Training Collaborative was founded in 2014 at a gathering in Memphis, Tennessee. Three mission-driven organizations, Leadership Foundations, Resonate Global Mission, and Street Psalms, convened around a shared desire that can be traced back for many years to free leaders from all walks of life to love their city and seek its peace. The partners wanted a model of formation inspired by the life of Jesus, one that will cultivate a shared vision while honoring the highly contextual needs of leaders and organizations in various cities throughout the world. To that end, the Leadership Foundations, Resonate Global Mission, and Street Psalms founded the Urban Training Collaborative, also known as the UTC. What emerged is an innovative, effective, and sustainable model of grassroots formation. The UTC has taken various forms since its founding. For example, in 2015, Street Psalms developed the strategy of cultivating local hubs, as well as the framework that guides the collaborative. It was then that the founding partners asked Street Psalms to provide organizational leadership to the collaborative that serves a shared network of more than 100 cities. At the heart of the UTC is the core conviction that the most powerful resource in vulnerable urban communities is the leaders themselves. Unfortunately, many leaders do not have a way of seeing, doing, and being that frees them to love their city and seek its peace. UTC hubs are committed to creating the conditions for that to happen. Throughout this overview, we seek to clarify the following: the purpose of the Urban Training Collaborative, the roles and responsibilities of a hub, an introduction to Street Psalms and its role in the Urban Training Collaborative. The Urban Training Collaborative is a city-centric movement. We believe that place matters. It's well documented that the world continues to urbanize at an alarming rate. We are witnessing the largest human migration the world has ever known. In the early 1800s, 3% of the world's population lived in cities. In the year 2000, 50% lived in cities. By 2050, more than 70% of the world's population will live in cities. Urbanization continues to accelerate in Africa, Latin America, and Asia. To keep up with this pace, we need to build the equivalent of one new city that can support 1 million people every 5 days until the year 2050. Cities are not just places where people live. They are forces that shape us whether we live in them or not. Cities function like magnets and magnifiers of human culture. As J.R. Short says, cities are also mirrors. They are a measure of our ability to live with each other. When we examine our cities, we examine ourselves. That is why the city is our classroom, our parish, and our playground. It is our classroom in that it is a living library of wisdom necessary for human flourishing. It is a parish in that it is sacred and holy ground that is home to people who are created in God's image. It is a playground in that it is where human creativity and innovation collaborate for the sake of the common good. The Urban Training Collaborative welcomes partners who do not live or serve in cities, but who want to learn in partnership with the urban context in mutually affirming ways. Together, we ask a simple question: who wants to love the city and seek its peace, especially the peace of its most vulnerable members? Our goal is human flourishing and the common good of all, especially the most vulnerable. We recognize that some see cities as a necessary evil. We see cities as the result of our God-given desire to create community. However, we have much to learn about how to be together if we are to survive the rapid rate of urbanization we are witnessing. As Martin Luther King Jr. pointed out, in a highly combustible and volatile world, where fragmentation and division are accelerating, we are confronted with two options: chaos or community. As humans inhabit compressed space with contested visions of human flourishing, the question remains: will we descend into chaos or evolve into genuine and life-giving communities? We also pursue this question with those who live and serve in suburban and rural contexts. because the question cannot be answered in isolation. What's needed are ways of being human that draw from a more holistic ecology and understanding of what it takes to build healthy whole communities that not only promote human flourishing, but the flourishing of the entire created ecosystem. In the end, the city, for us, is a metaphor for an interdependent, mutually accountable human community that lives in harmony with the rest of the created order. By putting the city and the most vulnerable at the center of our concern, we address humanity's most pressing challenges while concurrently allowing partner hubs to build big tables where there is room for all kinds of people to participate. The common good of all requires the gifts of people from all walks of life, including faith leaders from all backgrounds, denominations and traditions, public and private, sacred and secular. It includes leaders on the left and the right. It includes leaders from all walks of life, giving their gifts in the shape of their own vocation and call for the sake of the city. A city-centric approach also allows the church to work alongside other partners who care about the common good. In the highly contested space of urban diversity, this makes local faith communities a sign bearing witness to the possibility of human flourishing. This approach creates room for a big and diverse table that bridges differences and sees it as a gift. It builds community not through shared belief, but with a shared sense of belonging. The question shifts from, "Do you believe what I believe?" to, "Do you love what I love?" It's our shared love of the city and her most vulnerable that allows us to imagine a city of peace for all people, where everyone belongs, and frees us up to work with people from all backgrounds and traditions to achieve that peace. So, what makes up the UTC? UTC hubs are an organic movement of independent, self-sustaining partners with their own organization and leadership. Hubs come in all shapes and sizes. At the beginning of 2023, the Urban Training Collaborative included 21 hubs, gathering nearly 150 cohorts, representing more than 2,500 grassroots leaders guided by our common framework. Hubs can be found all over the world, including Central and North America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. For a complete and current list of all our hubs, you can visit www.streetpsalms.org/about. All hubs are committed to the following three elements. UTC hubs are committed to an inductive learning model. They recognize that we become human in the context of community, which inducts us over time. And the process of induction always happens in a given context, which is vital to the process. That is why each hub is committed to gathering leaders and community, stretched out over time, and always in context. UTC hubs share a common framework. It's a gift from grassroots communities curated by Street Psalms. It's not a curriculum, nor does it provide answers. It's a framework that provides a series of questions that help hubs guide and gauge their formational work. It's been field tested for 25 years and validated by an independent organization. UTC hubs form a global learning community that share best practices and dream together about how to free leaders in vulnerable urban communities. This learning community is cultivated and convened by Street Psalms. The configuration of a hub can take a variety of forms. This includes centers, churches, agencies, for-profit and nonprofit organizations, virtual and on-site gatherings. What they have in common is that they form leaders using the framework to guide and gauge their work. Examples include a training department within a city-serving organization, such as the hubs in Nairobi, Santo Domingo, and Guatemala City. A center within a university, such as the hub at the Seattle School of Theology. A local church, such as the hub at Lake Burien Presbyterian Church. A secular organization, such as the hubs at Urban Family Center. The point here is that hubs can take a variety of forms. What's needed is a desire to form leaders, informed by the framework, and to be connected to a global community. Street Psalms recognizes that each partner of the UTC has its own vision, mission, and set of values that, while organizationally unique, align with the overall impact of the UTC network as a whole. This has produced the following premises, which are shared by Street Psalms, the UTC, and the hubs themselves. The first has to do with organizational culture alignment. The partnership assumes that each hub is in agreement with our common vision, mission, values, and approach to formation in cities throughout the world. The second has to do with compatible strengths. The partnership assumes that there are distinct strengths that each hub partner brings for the betterment of the whole. The third has to do with enlightened self-interest. The partnership assumes that each hub has acknowledged that this partnership is capable of providing mutually beneficial outcomes where each organization's mission is advanced in a sustainable way. This includes, but is not limited to, an increase in a positive perception of each hub, increase in resources, and growth in achieving their respective hub objectives. The fourth has to do with the end game. The partnership assumes that all members of the UTC contribute substantially and measurably to the delivery of effective, affordable, and sustainable formation, with the desired outcomes being more skilled and mature urban leaders, more organizations or churches networked and with greater capacity, and more leveraged resources in urban contexts. Having laid out the vision and purpose of the UTC, the elements that form a hub, and its role as partner, we want to highlight the criteria for becoming a hub. Each hub partner agrees to 5 criteria based on our overall vision of freeing leaders to create cities of peace for all people, where everyone belongs, especially the most vulnerable. It begins with the framework. Hubs share a common framework called the Incarnational Framework. This allows us to all engage a common set of questions and measure collective impact. The question that all hubs sit with is whether their formational opportunities free leaders to love and serve. Methodology. Our methodology is incarnational, which means it's inductive, in community, over time, and always contextual. Hubs all commit to applying this methodology to their formational work. Hub leadership. Each hub has a leadership team with a point person. These point persons, or hub directors, are responsible for the overall vision and development of the hub and see themselves as a facilitator, not teacher. StreetSoms gathers hub directors quarterly as a community for cross-contextual learning and sharing best practices. City context. Each hub is freeing leaders in their own context to seek the peace of their city and its most vulnerable members, recognizing their city as a holy and sacred place filled with all the assets necessary for human flourishing. Participation. Hubs are committed to participating in the ongoing virtual gatherings hosted by StreetSoms to foster this learning community. They are committed to sharing what they learn in their application of the Incarnational Framework with the rest of the UTC, and they are committed to self-reporting both quantitative and qualitative data as part of the UTC's effort to understand our collective impact. All hub partners can expect the following from StreetSoms, which cultivates and convenes the collaborative. StreetSoms serves as the coordinating partner of the collaborative. This includes convening the hubs regularly to share best practices, formation resources, and mutual support on how to develop hubs for impact. Joint funding possibilities. StreetSoms partners with hubs around various models of formation to generate funding possibilities for the collaborative, such as preaching or practicing peace. Formation curriculum development opportunities. StreetSoms partners with hubs to create and pilot various curricula based on our shared framework. Academic partnership opportunities. StreetSoms cultivates academic partners who can provide pathways to credit for our framework-based curricula. Virtual cohorts and training opportunities. StreetSoms hosts its own hub that functions like an urban monastery without walls to provide formational rhythms and resources for the members and friends of the collaborative.